Good afternoon. Welcome back. It is Saturday, May 13th, 2023. Only have one birthday today and a couple of events which we'll go over really quickly. This is going way back in the time machine, 1966, and I remember reading about this in the Greg Filden 40 Years of Stock Car Racing book at the Starline Speedway in Monroe, North Carolina. They ran a race called the Independent 250. No factory-backed teams were allowed to enter. So Petty wasn't allowed to enter. Wood Brothers wasn't allowed to enter. None of the big-name teams were allowed to enter. It was strictly privateer drivers. And this was a Cup Series race, and that's how things were run back in the day. A promoter could say, hey, these are the cars that we can bring in. These are the ones we're not going to let happen. James Hilton did start on the pole, had some problems, finished way back in the field. The winner was Darrell Derringer that day, and the name of the race was the Independent 250. So way back in 1966, different times. Back in 2000, Tim Fedewa won his fourth and final ever Busch Series race at New Hampshire International Speedway. Something we didn't touch on this, of course, is the weekend that Adam Petty did pass away in 2000 at that race during practice. Driving his number 45 Sprint Chevrolet. Didn't touch on that the other day. It actually slipped my mind what month it had happened, because I couldn't remember if it was May or June. Really, honestly, wasn't thinking about it till this event popped up, and then I seen some posts the other day on Facebook about it. So kind of a sad year for the Petty family, as Lee Petty had passed away earlier in the year. So our lone birthday today is in 1961. Recently retired, and of course you heard me talk about reading his book, From the Barnyard to the Brickyard, Mr. Rich Bickle. And this stack of cards is literally all my Rich Bickle cards. So we'll go through these. This is when he was driving for Derek Close in the Kanawha insurance car back in 1991. Of course, he drove for DW. He did not have kind things to say about DW in his book. I recommend you read that. Drove for Harry Melling for a brief stint in the Cup Series. Gene Eisenhower, excuse me, who was his short track owner, owned a Cup car. Again, he's with the DW truck team there. There's another one with DW. So there you have the base and the explosive from the VIP set. Got quite a few of those. And I'm going to pause this for a minute. Excuse me, had a sneeze brewing there. Did not want that. It's bad enough you have to hear me cough. I don't want you have to hear me sneeze. I like this one. I think that's a pretty good shot of Rich. I've never met Rich Bickle, but Terminal Trucking was one of his longtime sponsors in short tracks. Never met Rich. Seen him race in person a few times at the Cup Series level. And always thought he was a good speedway driver, really good short track driver. His best finish came in 1998 in the Cup Series at Martinsville, the fall race, when he finished fourth driving for Cale Yarborough's team. There's a look at his car during the first Brickyard 400, driving for Harry Melling. There's another look at the Orkin Man. It doesn't look like we have much more here, just another car of the 9. Because had his best finish in the fall September race 1998. Of course, that was the Ricky Rudd, I'm going to sit in an oven all day and win this race. That Strickland's actually in Ricky's pits, ready to relief drive for him, but ended up not being called upon. But it was a pretty good race for Rich. He got out of the car, very emotional. And literally the only things that he could get out of his mouth was thank you, and basically Ford and Thornapple Valley, who was the sponsor of the car for that day. But that is it. I mean, I scoured over the birthdays pretty thorough. Didn't really see anybody that I had cards of or anything that was super significant. And like I say, only 2 events. Again, this is kind of like back in March, where there's going to be these big gaps. Because Easter, and of course with May, Mother's Day. So, of course, that is tomorrow. So make sure you guys and gals get out there and get your moms those last-minute gifts. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we will see you tomorrow.